We live in a time where many people share every single thing. Every meal, every trip, and every practiced smile in the mirror ends up in a story or a post. I do not judge them for it. It is the reflection of a world that has convinced us that if something is not shared, it almost does not exist. But there is another group of people who are invisible, quiet, and different. They do not fill their pages with personal photos. They do not record every step they take. And exactly because of that, they seem to stand away from the game. This is the uncomfortable truth. They are the real stars of this video because they have understood something most people miss. They know that not showing yourself all the time is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of intelligence. You might wonder why someone would choose to stay in the shadows when everyone else seems to be fighting for the light. The answer is deeper than you think. These people do not post not because they are unable to, but because they know very well what it costs. They have discovered what others have not yet seen. Every photo you give to the world is a piece of yourself you leave in the hands of someone else, and they are not willing to sell themselves that cheaply. And here is the point almost no one dares to say. Not posting anything, not showing yourself, and not offering your life on a silver platter is an act of power. It is a quiet act, but it is full of meaning. Because when everyone else runs toward being seen, the one who stays behind is not falling behind. They have chosen another path, a much more solid one where who you are does not depend on praise. And that kind of intelligence is not measured in likes. It is measured in freedom. Now think about this. What does it really mean not to show yourself on social media? It means that your story, your steps, and your most private moments stay only within a circle you choose, not in a shop window open to anyone. It means you do not need to turn every experience into a public show just to make it feel real. It is like keeping a secret. What stays only with you gains a much more special value. It is no accident that the most important things in your life are rarely the ones you post. When was the last time you uploaded a photo of real pain or a tear without a filter? Exactly. Almost never. And those who decide not to post anything know that life was not made to be a display album, but to be lived. But let us go further. Behind that choice, there is also a very interesting social part, which is the control of your own story. When you share constantly, your life seems open and public, and that creates the idea that anyone can comment, judge, or even act like they own what you show. However, those who do not show anything, who keep their distance, become a mystery. And mystery in a world full of too much information is power, because what is not shown creates more questions than what is shared too much. Here is where many people get it wrong. They think being seen is the same as having influence. But what they do not understand is that true influence comes from choosing to be silent. Think about those who rarely post, who stay in the background. And yet when they speak or appear, they get everyone's attention. Why? Because they are not worn out. They have not thinned out their presence. In 1,000 boring posts, their absence creates a feeling of waiting, and that feeling is far more powerful than having too much. This is the mental secret few people understand. Showing less is actually showing more. Being rare turns the ordinary into something special. A single photo or a single word can carry huge weight if people are not used to seeing you show yourself every day. On the other hand, when someone posts all the time, their image becomes predictable and boring within the digital noise. And those who do not post know this. They have understood that being rare holds great value in a world full of too much, but there is another deeper layer that connects with who you are and being real. Posting all the time creates a need for approval from others. The brain gets used to receiving tiny hits of excitement every time someone likes or reacts. It is like being trained, and little by little, without knowing it, you stop living for yourself and start living for the eyes of others. What you eat, where you travel, and how you dress, everything begins to be planned not to be enjoyed, but to be shown. Life becomes a show instead of a real experience. And what do those who do not post do? They free themselves from that trap. They live what they feel without thinking about how it will look on a screen. They eat without taking photos, they travel without telling everyone, and they laugh without needing proof. And that is worth gold, because it means their experience is real, not filtered through the need to show off. They have gained back something most have lost, the ability to live for themselves. And notice this, because here is a big truth. Those who do not post are seen as quiet or boring. But the truth is, while others give away their private lives for bits of attention, they protect it like a treasure. And in that silence, they build a hidden fort. A fort that does not need to prove anything because it is already whole. Now tell me, who do you think is stronger? Someone who needs to show themselves to feel alive, or someone who feels so full that they do not need to show anything to anyone? The answer is clear but uncomfortable. Most will prefer to keep posting rather than face it. And here is what truly interests me. Not posting is also a form of rebellion. It is a quiet fight against a system that wants everything to be seen, that wants you to show yourself, and wants you to be just another product in the global shop. By refusing, you become invisible to the system. You become someone who cannot be measured by simple numbers. And that invisibility is power. Because in a world obsessed with being seen, disappearing is a luxury for the most intelligent. So the big question returns, do you post to connect or do you post to be seen? Because that is the difference. Connection is real and human. Being seen is shallow and driven by ego. And those who do not post have already made their choice. They have chosen real connection, even if it is quiet, over empty fame. So, I will leave you with a thought that may stay with you for days. What is left of you when you turn off the camera? If your life stops existing without a post, then it was never truly yours. And here is where I want to take you even further into a place rarely talked about. The building of silence as who you are. Because yes, just as some build their public face through photos and constant posting, others choose to build theirs through being absent. And do not be mistaken, that absence is not empty. It is a plan. Silence is not a lack of a voice. It is a different voice that is far more powerful than the loud noise. What is strange is that these kinds of people develop a special feel. They become mysteries. You do not know where they are, what they are doing, or who they spend their time with. And that mystery creates something no computer program can ever make: respect. In a world where everything is shown, the little that stays hidden becomes very valuable. It is the same reason diamonds are not found on the ground. They are deep under the earth. The rare and the hard-to-reach things create desire and interest. There is also a social side worth noting. When you do not post, when you do not offer your life as a show, you force others to come to you for real if they want to know you. Instead of just looking at your photos to learn about you, they have to talk to you and earn your trust. And that natural filter makes your relationships deeper and more real. Those who know you do not know you because they saw it online. They know because you chose to share it in person. That completely changes the quality of your friendships. And now ask yourself, how many of your relationships exist only because of what you post? If you stopped uploading photos tomorrow, how many people would still truly care about you? The answer might be hard, but it also shows the truth, because those who do not post have learned to tell the difference between real interest and just being nosy. And that is a massive advantage. But let me add a turn you might not expect. Not posting also allows you to live life without constantly feeling like you are playing a part. How many times have you gone somewhere thinking about how the photo will look or which angle is best? That thought turns the experience into a play. You are no longer at the beach to feel the ocean. You are there so others see that you were there. You are no longer eating to taste the food. You are eating so someone can like your plate. It is tiring. And what those who do not post do is escape that stage. They stop acting and start living. And here is the most surprising part. When you choose not to post, you become safe from constant judgment because there is nothing to judge. No photo to pick apart, no pose to look at, no comparison to make. And within that safety hides a kind of freedom few ever know. A freedom that does not need to shout because it is felt in silence. Now listen carefully. The true luxury of the future will not be having more followers. It will be having the courage not to need them. In a world where everyone wants to be seen, those who choose not to will be the only ones who truly own something of their own. They will be the owners of their time, their privacy, and their peace of mind. And when that happens, perhaps we will look back and realize that the wisest were not those who collected likes, but those who never needed them. So, I will leave you with another question. Who are you when no one is watching? Because there in that answer lies your true self, and maybe those who do not post understood that long before the rest. And if you look closely, there is a small detail that changes everything. It is the relationship with time. Those who live to post are tied to a frozen moment that must be recorded. Every moment becomes a short show that lasts only a day. In contrast, those who do not post experience time differently. They do not rush to record. They are not obsessed with proving they were there. They simply live in the moment. And that mental difference creates a huge gap. Some live for the photo, others live for the memory. Because here is the deep part. Personal memory has real feelings and smells. A social media photo is only a shallow version. Those who do not post understand that personal experience kept in memory is much richer than a fixed image made to please others. And that habit makes them stronger because their story is not told through the eyes of others, but their own. There is another layer connecting with something even deeper. It is emotional safety. When you do not show your life online, you protect what you love. Your family, your friends, and your happiest moments stay safe from the eyes of strangers and bad comments. You cannot imagine how much worry comes from showing your private life in a place where anyone can judge it. Those who choose silence online know this. Not everyone deserves to see what matters to you. And that ability to set boundaries is a sign of being grown up. And now tell me, who is freer? The one who constantly needs to prove they live a perfect life, or the one who lives without needing proof? That is the difference between being tied to the public eye and living your own truth. But let me take you to another interesting angle. It is the value of mystery in human relationships. Think about it. In a world where almost everyone shows their routine, those who do not become puzzles. And puzzles pull people in. They create interest because what is not shown makes people imagine more than what is always seen. It is like reading a book where the writer does not tell you everything. What is left out makes you want more. That is the magic of silence on social media. It turns those who stay quiet into people of mystery who cannot be turned into just a digital profile. And this has a direct impact on how they are seen by others. While many tire themselves out seeking attention, those who do not post get a different kind of attention that lasts longer. It is not because they share too much, but because they are rare. It is as if in a market full of noise, silence becomes the rarest thing to find. And you know what happens to rare things? Their value goes up. Which leads me to a strong conclusion. Not posting does not mean disappearing. It means choosing how to exist. It means who you are does not depend on a computer program or praise, but on being real. And now I will leave you with a thought that may stay with you for a long time. If tomorrow no one could see what you do, would you still live your life with the same energy? Those who do not post already know the answer. They live without witnesses, and for that reason, their life is entirely their own. And now that we have made it this far, I want to show you this. Our book, The Formula of Awakening, is now out. Do you feel like there is something inside you that wants to wake up, but you do not know where to start? Then I invite you to change your way of thinking and your way of living. Find out who you can become. Start today. The link to get the book is in the first comment of this video. Get your copy now at a great price. With that said, let us continue. Tell me, what do you prefer? To be the lead in your own life, or a side actor in a show of appearances? And here we are at the very end. And maybe you have already noticed this video was not just about social media. It was about you, about the way you live, and about what you choose to show or keep. Because in the end, the photos you never post and the moments only you remember are the ones that truly belong to you. And that is the key. It is not about hiding. It is about choosing which part of you should be shared and which must stay only yours. Look at it this way. People live in fear of being forgotten, as if not posting were the same as disappearing. But those who never upload anything have found a beautiful truth. Real memory is not kept on a computer. It lives in the mind and in the soul. They know that what is unseen is often what matters most. And then comes the final point. Not posting is often a sign of strength and being real. It is a way of saying to the world, my life does not need a show. It already has meaning on its own. That is intelligence in its purest form. Now, I want to suggest something different. Write in the comments the one sentence that means the most to you from this video, the one you want to remember. It can be a word or an idea. That way, we stop playing the game of likes and create a space for real thoughts. And if this moved something inside you and made you think about what you show and what you keep, subscribe. Because this channel is not made for noise. It is made for people like you who want to go deeper. Hit like and share this video with that person who always needs to show everything. Maybe what they hear here will change the way they see things, and I will say goodbye in a different way. Imagine I close this screen right now, turn off the lights, and everything goes quiet, and the only thing that remains is what stayed inside you. That feeling is the true ending. And remember, sometimes the most powerful thing is not what is shown, but what is never revealed. See you in the next video, or maybe not. And that uncertainty is what makes it truly interesting. Now that we understand why silence is power, we must look at how this changes the way you actually breathe and move through the world. Most people think that if they stop posting, they will lose their connection to society. They fear that they will become ghosts. But the truth is the opposite. When you stop feeding the digital version of yourself, the real version of you finally begins to grow. Think about the energy it takes to maintain a profile. You have to pick the right colors, the right words, and the right time to share. That is energy taken away from your real growth. Those who choose a private life take all that wasted power and put it back into their own hands. They use it to build skills that no one sees, to form thoughts that no one can argue with, and to create a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good from the outside. This is what we call internal wealth. It is a type of riches that the internet cannot give you and cannot take away. Think about the people you admire most in history. They did not become great by showing every step of their journey. They became great in the dark, in the quiet hours when no one was watching. They worked, they failed, and they learned without the need for a crowd to cheer them on. When you live in public, you are always performing. And when you perform, you are never truly yourself. You are playing a character that you think people will like. But the person who stays off the screen has no character to play. They are just who they are. There is a deep peace in knowing that you don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You don't have to defend your choices to strangers. You don't have to prove you are happy or successful or busy. You just are. And that just being is the ultimate goal of a free mind.